Welcome to Homework Lib.
We're being asked to graph the function g of x equals the absolute value of x minus 2. Well, to do this, we first want to start out by making a table of values to find different function values for this g of x function. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a table of values where my first column is x, my second column is g of x. Well, now we can pick any values for x that we want. So I'm just going to pick -2, 0, and +2. And now we simply need to find the value of g of x for these three particular x values. So let's start when x is -2. What we need to find is g of -2. To do this, we simply substitute -2 in for x in our function. So we will be left with the absolute value of -2 minus 2. And now we evaluate. Well, the absolute value of -2 is 2, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So when x is -2, g of x is equal to 0. Now we're going to look at when x is 0. We need to find what the value of g of x is when x is 0. So to do that, we're going to do g of 0. And again, to solve this, we're going to substitute 0 in for x. So we will be left with the absolute value of 0 minus 2. Now we're going to evaluate. Well, the absolute value of 0 is equal to 0, and 0 minus 2 is -2. So what we found is that when x is 0, g of x is -2. And lastly, we need to find the value of g of x when x is 2. So to find g of 2, we simply substitute 2 in for x. So we'll have the absolute value of 2 minus 2. Well, the absolute value of 2 is 2, and 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So when x is 2, g of x is equal to 0. So how does this help us in terms of graphing this function? Well, keep in mind that g of x is equal to y. So essentially what this means is that second column is all of the y values for certain ordered pairs that are going to be on this graph. So in other words, the ordered pair -2, 0, the ordered pair 0, -2, and the ordered pair 2, 0 falls on our graph. So now we simply need to plot these points. So to plot the point -2, 0, we go left 2, but then we don't go up or down. To plot the point 0, -2, we don't go left or right, we just go down 2. And to plot the point 2, 0, we go right 2, but then we do not go up or down. And now we simply connect our points. And if you notice, our graph is in the shape of a V, which it should be because our original function was an absolute value function.